You were given a real hard time growing up by your peers. You wrote, you grew up eating this f***ed up food, looking oddly different, always out of place, and you convince yourself the girls in your class won't like you because you have slanted eyes and your hair's not blonde, and you start to feel separate. You move around like you are somehow other or less than. Elaborate on that if you don't mind.
This is how I felt at that age. So it's different. When I say f***ed up food, I'm talking about my own food. I was not proud of my culture. I felt like I shouldn't be.
And kids said you were eating worms.
First of all, you bring a rice bowl to school, and in a class that just doesn't understand what that food looks like. I'm like, Mom, why do you do that to me? Everyone's like, I can't eat this. Like, I have to eat this in private because I grew up eating this food. And Newport Beach, it's 96% white. It's very conservative, and kids growing up in that climate, they just don't have a filter. And if they don't get checked or they don't have education on what the underrepresented are experiencing, they might not even realize what kind of effect it has on other people.
I was talking to your sister, Kana. She recalls when you were on the playground that you were talking to the ants. How did that feeling of like not belonging, you think, come out in you back then?
Like the group I was in was, the class I was in was, there's only 2 other guys, and it was like all girls. All I want to do is like be like the 2 guys and be friends with them. But they definitely did not want me in there. I wanted to be accepted into their world. I remember following them and doing whatever they did. And they were really into bird watching. And I would like go, oh, that's what they're doing, that's what the guys are doing, I gotta do that too. And I remember like going backyard and like going, Mom, I'm really into birds. They're like, why, you're into birds? Just, I don't know, it's just funny. I looking back at what it felt like at that time and just wanting to fit in with these guys.
And what happened where you were almost expelled once?
I actually befriended this one kid. We were really close, and we hang out all the time. And he like befriended another friend, and that guy did not like me at all. I ride my bike over to his house, and he's just like, I'm like feeling things like being thrown at me behind a bush, and then I hear like the racial epithets, just like everything. I'm like, and I realize it's my friend. I remember like so confused why that was happening, and I was crying, and because I just didn't understand. Like I brought back his glasses. Like I was borrowing his glasses. So when I broke his glasses, I was so angry, and I threw it in the trash. And then the next day, I confronted him. I'm like, why? Like, what happened? And then his friend was there, the guy that doesn't like me, and then they were just saying all kinds of stuff again. And then we got into a fight. And that was my first physical fight. And there's a playground, and like all these people were like, surrounding us. They're like, fight. They're like encouraging the fight. And we got into it, and I beat him up. I felt bad though. Like I just was so scared. I just ran and hid in a bush.
It bothers you even now, talking
Yeah,
about
no, I just remember like hiding in the bush, and it makes me feel like that's the culture I live in. It's normal. Like Asians in that environment, we are subpar. And that's what I consider myself at that point. I'm like, I'm not at the same level. And that's just how it is. It's just sad to see that. I got like suspended or whatever from school. And then I came back to school, and I saw him, his friend, riding his bike in front of me. I was like, yo, what's up? Like, and he just like took off. And I was like, wow, he didn't say anything bad, and he took off, and he tried to hop the curb, and I don't know if it's karma or something, but his front wheel like came off the spoke, and then he just like rolled over his bike, and I'm like, oh my God. I just couldn't believe that happened right at that moment.
Didn't your mom in some of these situations like want you to apologize?
She's like, doesn't want to rock the boat. She doesn't want to cause stir. She's just like the Japanese culture is keep your head down and just keep moving. Let's just not cause a scene. Like, sorry, we're sorry, please leave us alone kind of thing. Like, you know, growing up there as any sort of minority, you're going to have some level of discrimination. In high school, I still like dealt with just dumb racism, you know, and like ignorance. Of course, you deal with that. When you're a kid, it's harder to understand that. And you don't know who to turn to. But in high school, that's when I was lucky to find music, because the scene that I got involved in, like the kids I was hanging out with, they're all like either bullied or like outcasted, or like they're not Asian, but but we have the same kind of understanding of like, hey, we don't fit in anywhere, so we'll fit in together, and we'll allow you to give you a voice so you can, you know, find the courage to like just be you.
How did you find music helped?
Music, yeah, was my source to express myself and to learn who I am and to be proud of, because I was so like ashamed, like my face, my eyes, like I'm Japanese. I just like, I had a lot of shame in that. And then like later on I felt guilty about it. And then I was like, I gotta reclaim that. I gotta own this. Because it is who I am. It's like I want to be proud of that, you know. And so I was able to find that through music, and the empowerment around the people that were like allowing me to just be me.